It is the 28th day of August 2022. A very good evening to you and welcome to Sunday Special. This is the last day that IEBC has to prepare everything for tomorrow's by-elections for the 8 electoral seats. We'll be telling you all about that, what to expect tomorrow. A very good evening to you. To the headlines tonight. Tonight, police in Kikuyu, Kiambu arrest a 15-year-old girl believed to have murdered her 3 siblings and a cousin in 1 year.
Saa huyu msichana Brenda amemcall akamwambia anko yake ashishinda akitafuta nani aliua mtoto, ni aliua mtoto.
Says she has been receiving strange feeling and excitement when killing them. Also tonight, who met who?
I will make the CCTV cameras available at my house so that those can be investigated by the DCI.
Azimio Executive Director Rafael Tuju now says IEBC commissioners met him in his house seeking favors.
Yeah, who initiated the secret meeting between me and Chebukati? It was Chebukati himself.
Tuju wants Chebukati to explain what he discussed with UDA officials the night before presidential results. Plus, I want the truth even if I lost. Raila says,
if there's truth, then there will be justice. Then there will be peace. Then finally there will be reconciliation. Want Kenya to be reconciled.
As President-elect William Ruto expresses confidence in the courts ahead of the Supreme battle. And all set for Kakamega Mombasa gubernatorial race tomorrow.
We have enhanced security. We have improved in our security by adding more officers.
IEBC to conduct polls in 8 elective seats that were postponed. Right, officially welcome to the program. Karen Simolo is on the sign language interpretation. My name is Stanley Iringita, and we start with a particular news that has hit headlines hard. Police are investigating the murder of 4 minors in Kikuyu sub-county following the confession of a 15-year-old Form 1 student who claims to have murdered the 4 in a killing spree spread over a span of 1 year. The suspect, who confessed to the murders in front of her parents, her teachers and the police, allegedly murdered 3 of her siblings last year and her 20-month-old cousin on the 16th day of this month. Zainab Mohammed with more.
On the 20th day of August, 15-year-old Brenda Wanjiru, who is a student at Kawetei Girls Secondary School, is reported to have borrowed one of her teacher's phone and called her parents, confessing to the murder of 4 minors, including her 3 siblings and 2-year-old cousin.
Sawa, wakati bro alinipigia simu akaniambia huyu msichana huyu msichana Brenda amemcall akamwambia anko yake ashishinda akitafuta nani aliua mtoto, ni aliua mtoto na anajulikana ni yeye. So nikaa alikuwa na hiyo kujishuku, yani nikaa alifanya hivyo. Sasa alikuwa naona kama kuna mtu alimuona yani.
The girl's devastated father then walked to Kikuyu police station and filed a report against the 15-year-old girl, whom he accused of killing his 3 children. The juvenile admitted to having committed the murders.
We wish to confirm to you that this office, that is DCI Kikuyu, is investigating a case of serial murder of 4 minors, which happened on diverse dates of last year and this year. In the meantime, we wish to confirm to you that we have arrested a key suspect in connection to the murder of the 4 minors.
Her family, who are still in total shock, say the 15-year-old was a good and quiet kid who they would never have expected would be capable of such a heinous act.
Hata tumekaa na yeye miaka 2, mamake akiwa Saudi Arabia. Nilikuwa nakaa na yeye. Na kutoka hapo tabia zake hazikuwa baya.
Alikuwa mtoto mzuri sana. Alipadika baadaye, sijui alipadika kwa nini, hata sijui, hata mimi nasidagu, hata mimi sijui. Sitakai, unaona nyinyi tu nakumbani niongoyo. Sitakai kusikia mambo ya watoto.
According to the police report, Brenda confessed to have murdered her 2-year-old cousin Martin Kangara by drowning him, her 1-year-old brother Liam Gichuhi by suffocating him with a pillow over his face, her 5-year-old sister Valeria Mudhoni by strangling her, and her 7-year-old sister Rachel Wanjiru by strangling her for 10 minutes, drowning her before pouring hot water on her face.
Nilikuwa nimesikia watoto wa dadangu waliaga, na kulingana na venye waliaga, the same thing ndio ili happen hapa. Juu alikuwa nakiri jana aliua watoto wao venye aliua mtoto wetu.
Mimi mtoto tumeishi na yeye vizuri sana, hata uwezi jua kama si wa huku. Ni mtoto wa sister yangu, sister in law, lakini nambebanga kama mtoto wangu venye naweza beba watoto wangu. Ikifika hapo mtu anakuulia mtoto, iko na haja gani umbebe tena kama mtoto wako? Huyo ni kama mnyama.
Police investigation is currently ongoing, with the suspect expected to be arraigned at Kiambu High Court on Monday morning. Zainab Mohammed, T47.
May the souls rest in eternal peace. Now, to some politics. Azimio la Umoja's executive director, Raila Tuju, now says IEBC chairman Wafula Chebukati had called him to a secret meeting, but he refuses to divulge what they were to discuss. Tuju claims accusations from Chebukati that he tried to lure him with money to change presidential results were false, as Sharon Baranga now reports.
Sunday afternoon, the executive director of Azimio la Umoja, Raila Tuju, was ready to respond to an affidavit from IEBC's chairman Wafula Chebukati. Tuju claims that accusations that he tried to pay Chebukati for him to skew the presidential results in favor of Raila Odinga were unfounded.
He has made claims of what I said when 10 of us were in that room. All the commissioners were in that room, and Mr. Amos Wako was in that room, and another lawyer, I don't know his name, Bonduo, whoever he is. So there are 10 of us in that room. For him to claim that I made some offers to him in front of those 10 is a tara diddle. Is a tara diddle. Petty lie. So I think those 10 others should be able to corroborate his story.
Tuju also says that he had tried to reach out to Chebukati numerous times when he had received information of how Form 34As were being swapped from the Commission's portal, and that this issue was what made him to go to Bomas of Kenya at around 4 a.m.
I'd received intelligence from one of the IEBC officials who complained that some Form 34A were being brought down and they were being replaced by other Form 34A. He was not able to know exactly the location from which this was happening, but he brought it to me once, first time, and I reported this to the DCI, who dispatched officers to have an interview with this person. This gentleman was so terrified, and he actually mentioned the case that he had been threatened by Mr. Majan when he brought it up with him, that he should not play with him, he'll know who Mr. Majan is. Coming from the memory of Musandu, I've never seen a more scared young man. He did take it up with one of his seniors, and the seniors, to corroborate the story, also told me, yes, he had received, the senior had received the report, and there was absolutely nothing they could do unless I talk with the chairman himself.
Meanwhile, Tuju wants Commissioners Abdi Gulie and Molu Boya to explain why they visited his home.
I want Mr. Gulie, or Professor Gulie, and Mr. Molu to explain what they came to do in my house. What was that discussion about? And the drift of that discussion was more of auctioneers rather than commissioners. I want them to say they never came to my house. I will make the CCTV cameras available at my house so that those can be investigated by the DCI, whether I'm saying the truth or not. Because to my house, they came. Yeah, who initiated the secret meeting between me and Chebukati? It was Chebukati himself.
Sharon Baranga, TV47.
Right, Sharon, thank you for that, Sharon Baranga. Now, on the same breath, Azimio la Umoja presidential flag bearer Raila Odinga has said he is only after the truth following his move of filing a petition in the Supreme Court in protest of the presidential results announced by IEBC chairperson Wafula Chebukati. The results declared Deputy President William Ruto as the president-elect in the recently concluded general election. TV47's Moige William with that report.
In his first public appearance in Kibera after IEBC announced William Ruto as president-elect, Raila Odinga, together with a section of Azimio leaders, attended a church service at AIC Church Kibera. When given the opportunity to address the congregation, Odinga took the opportunity to tell his supporters to maintain peace during the time when the Supreme Court will be holding proceedings as litigants take on each other during the presidential election petition, in which Raila has asked the court to annul President-elect William Ruto's victory.
What I'm asking for as Raila Amolo Odinga is to be told the truth. And this is not just because of the elections of 2022. It's for posterity. We don't want to go into an election and see the kind of charade that we're seeing today. Mr. Chebukati, the chest thumping the other side with his two other commissioners, and then the other four commissioners this other side. It's a shame. Shame to democracy. Shame to the world.
Odinga saying that he will accept the verdict that will be issued by the 7-judge bench sitting at the Supreme Court led by Chief Justice Martha Koome. Odinga adding that it is the truth that he is after.
Tunaomba mahakama ifanye haki, ili haki julikane. Mimi Raila Odinga siogopi. Kama nilishinda nitasema nimeshindwa. Kama nilishinda nitasema nimeshindwa. Na nitarudi nyumbani. Lakini ukweli uko wapi?
After attending the church service, a number of leaders allied to the Azimio coalition proceeded to Kamukonji grounds in Kibera, where they conducted a public rally calling on residents to maintain peace.
Tungoje matokeo ya Supreme Court. Na siku hiyo ambayo Supreme Court itasema maneno vile itasema, mimi ninasikia tu vile watasema. Wakisema vile mimi nasikia watasema.
Tunaheshimu mahakama, tunaheshimu uamuzi, lakini tunataka haki itendeke, si ndio?
The DCI should move in with speed and carry out investigations on Bwana Chebukati. If you go to the penal code, Bwana TJ.
And in his visit here in Kibera, Raila Odinga stating he will accept the verdict that will be delivered by the Supreme Court of Kenya, urging his supporters to remain calm as the legal process continues. Moige William, TV47 from Kibera, Nairobi.
Thank you, Moige. Now, meanwhile, President-elect William Ruto has expressed confidence in the Supreme Court in the much-awaited hearing and ruling on the presidential petition. Ruto spoke in Bungoma, where he also confirmed that Bungoma Senator Moses Wetangula is headed to the National Assembly as the Speaker. This story was produced by Wanji Sostin.
President-elect William Ruto and Kenya Kwanza leaders held a Thanksgiving Mass at Christ the King Cathedral Catholic Church in Bungoma County Sunday. Ruto's inauguration ceremony, which will be determined by the Supreme Court's decision on presidential election petition, is still a matter of wait and see. The leaders are, however, optimistic that the court will rule in their favor, urging Kenyans to remain calm.
We have spoken a new language. Bribery, intimidation, blackmail did not sway the voters. Bribery, intimidation, blackmail did not sway IEBC. We are confident that blackmail, bribery, intimidation will not sway our courts.
We would like to ask all these officers who are retiring with President Uhuru Kenyatta to stop living in denial. The election is over. William Ruto is the President of the Republic of Kenya. Senor, stop wasting your time scheming, Day and night you are not sleeping.
We will make our positive contribution to ensure that the country remains peaceful, remains tranquil, and awaits your being sworn in as the 5th President of the Republic of Kenya. I can tell Kenyans for free, as a senior lawyer in this country, that I've read through those documents and they're just a pile of nothing.
People may look down upon you, but I can assure you from this pulpit, the God that you have been praying is a real God, and God will stand by you. Mungu atasimama na wewe, Mungu atakupigania.
Following the rift among the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission commissioners, the leaders stated their satisfaction on 2022 free, fair and transparent election. They say the IEBC chairman Wafula Chebukati stood firm on commission's independency despite intimidations.
Yale mambo Chebukati amepitia, ile hongo amehaidiwa, ile vitisho amepatiwa na amekataa na akasimama imara. Chebukati ameweka kiwango mpya ya wafanyikazi wote wa serikali katika taifa letu la Kenya.
He deserves our prayers, he deserves our accolades, because had he wavered, had he not stood firm, there were those who are hell-bent on snatching the victory of William Samoei Ruto from him through unorthodox methods.
President-elect, however, urged Bungoma residents to allow Senator-elect Moses Wetangula to National Assembly as the Speaker and ANC boss Musalia Mudavadi will be appointed to supervise cabinet affair as a chief minister. Lobbying is already ongoing to fill various House leadership positions as well as cabinet positions if the court upholds Kenya Kwanza's win.
Nawashukuru sana, mulitupatia kura ya MCA, mukatupatia kura ya wabunge, mukatupatia kura ya Papa wa Roma,
And at the same time, Catholic Church bishops in Western Kenya have asked the Supreme Court judges to deliver a free and fair judgment on the ongoing petition filed by Azimio la Umoja party leader Raila Odinga and other Kenyans challenging the presidential results, which saw the Independent Commission IEBC declare the Kenya Kwanza presidential candidate William Ruto president-elect. Led by Bishop Joseph Obanyi, leaders also asked Kenyans to remain calm as they wait for the judgment on 5th of September 2022. Bishop Obanyi also asked those who will be voting on Monday in Mombasa and Kakamega to choose wisely to avoid regrets in future.
We pray and hope that the courts will show respect to those who have filed petitions by judiciously listening to the cases and making verdicts that are just to the parties involved. Secondly, about the Supreme Court ruling. Dear Kenyans, as we all know, the presidential election result is disputed and now being handled at the Supreme Court level. We, the Catholic bishops, wish to thank the petitioners for recognizing and laying faith in our Supreme Court. The act of going to court strengthens belief in our institutions to solve cases. We assure the Supreme Court of our prayers for wisdom in its judgment. We would like to categorically state that the Supreme Court, like any other public institutions, has a code of conduct guiding its actions. Kenyans are looking up to it for both peace and justice.
And all is set for polls tomorrow in 8 elective seats that were postponed by IEBC. The 8 include Kakamega and Mombasa gubernatorial election, parliamentary races in Rongai, Nakuru County, Kitui Rural in Kitui County, Kacholiba and Pokot South. Chichi Josephine reports on the preparations in these areas.
The election for the gubernatorial post in Mombasa and Kakamega counties that was suspended are set for Monday. According to Nyali returning officer John Ole Taiswa, everything is in place and distribution of voting materials done in all 6 constituencies.
Tayari tumejiandaa,
tumemaliza maandalizi yote. Sasa tunaanza kujipanga tu our presiding officers na deputy presiding officers waanze kwenda field pamoja na security officers. So mpangilio yote ziko tumemalizwa.
Also in the list are parliamentary election in Kitui Rural, Kachiliba and Pokot South constituencies, both in West Pokot County, and Rungai constituency in Nakuru County. In Kachiliba and Pokot South constituencies, voting materials have been distributed to their respective polling stations as expectations of voter turnout remain a concern.
Tuna anticipate kwamba watu watakuja, voter turnout itakuwa mzuri, whether si mbaya sana, whether isipokuwa mbaya, yani kunyeshanyesha saa zingine unajua inasumbua turnout, lakini tuna uhakika kwamba watu watatokea. Wanasiasa the candidates wamehamasisha raia watokee, na sisi pia tunajitayarisha.
In Kitui Rural constituency, voting materials have been distributed to their respective polling stations and security beefed up to ensure smooth running of the exercise, according to returning officer Winfred Ndote.
We are distributing materials for the upcoming elections, which will be tomorrow. The polling stations will be open from 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. So we are ensuring that we have distributed all the materials. We will be done by 5 p.m. so that they can proceed to the polling stations.
844,709 voters in Kakamega County are expected to participate in the election to elect their second governor after the outgoing governor Wycliffe Oparanya served for 2 constitutional terms. According to Kakamega IEBC Chief Officer Joseph Ayata, all is set for the day as the voting exercise is expected to commence early in the morning.
We expect to finish this exercise as early as possible, and it also will depend with how fast the constituencies will tally their Form Bs and how fast they will come to the tallying center before we transfer them to Form Cs before I announce the results. So maybe from midnight we expect maybe the first constituencies to arrive at the tallying center.
In Nakuru County, Rungai constituency, 82,526 voters are expected to participate in the election to choose their next member of parliament, a position that has attracted 3 candidates: Raymond Moi of the KANU party, Luka Kigen of CCM party, and Paul Chebor of the UDA party. Chichi Josephine, TV 47.
Right, thank you for that, Chichi Josephine, and let's stay around for all that particular preparations for the polls. Let's cross over to Kakamega County, our very own Violet Auma is. Violet, a very good evening to you. Paint us a picture on the preparations for that particular county.
Yeah, thank you so much. We are coming to you live from Kakamega County, and of course we're following up issues of the preparations that are about the election that is scheduled to start tomorrow, or rather to take place tomorrow, the gubernatorial elections here in Kakamega County. As you can see behind me, I don't know if my camera person can really, actually we have a beehive of activities here at Lurambi Tallying Center, that is Kakamega Hill School, where the POs, the presiding officers are being given whatever they are supposed to, their voting materials to go to their respective sub-counties and polling stations for tomorrow's election. Earlier on, we were able to talk to the returning officer here in Kakamega County, County Returning Officer Joseph Ayata, who said it's all systems go here in Kakamega County. Everything has been taken to their respective sub-counties, and currently I am at Hill School, whereby the presiding officers and the clerks are being taken, or rather they are going to their respective stations, and the materials as well, they are being ferried to the stations for readiness for tomorrow's election that is scheduled to start at 6 a.m. in the morning. And of course, earlier on we were also able to talk to the county, the Western Region Commandant, Paris Kimani, who assured residents that the security has been beefed up. She said that they were able to get security officers from neighboring counties just to ensure that the exercise goes on smoothly as scheduled, tomorrow's exercise. And of course, the gubernatorial race here in Kakamega County has attracted 7 candidates, among them outgoing Senator Cleophas Malala of ANC, Fernandez Baraza of ODM, Suleiman Kanyanya Sumba for KANU, UDPs, Cyrus Jirongo, MDPs, Sam Omkoko, and Wycliffe Osundwa, as well as Austin Opito, who are vying as independent candidates in Kakamega County. And so 844,709 candidates, or rather 709 registered voters in Kakamega County will take part in tomorrow's exercise. In Kakamega County, as per the IEBC register, or rather data, we had 1,685 polling stations here in Kakamega County in the 9th August polls. But currently, those who will be able to participate, or rather the centers that will be open for tomorrow's exercise, will be 1,682. The 3 of them were the prisons, and of course we've been told that prisoners are only allowed to cast their votes for their presidential candidates, and so they will not be able to take part in tomorrow's exercise. And also the returning officer, the county returning officer, Joseph Ayata, has also told us that they have revised some of the polling stations, or rather tallying stations, or tallying centers in different sub-counties that initially the centers were at the secondary schools that are boarding schools, and of course they have been shifted to other areas like the areas like where the schools, the girls' schools, boarding schools, and even the boys' schools have been rescheduled to the technical universities or colleges that are nearby. And of course, we'll just keep our viewers updated on what is currently happening here in Kakamega County, in the 12 sub-counties for tomorrow's exercise, where, of course, as I said, 844,709 registered voters in Kakamega County will be taking part in tomorrow's exercise. I take it back to you.
Thank you for all that particular comprehensive report, Violet Oma, in Kakamega County. And we'll definitely be taking a look at today right now, after this particular short break, giving you an explainer, just taking a look at those numbers. Remember, elections are always about numbers, so we'll be taking a look at who is who on that particular race, the gubernatorial race, and also the number of registered voters. And also we'll be taking a look at how things are shaping up in Mombasa County, where very own Patronila Goren is, and also for all other elective seats. All correspondents are stationed there, and most definitely tomorrow, make sure that we'll definitely be giving you all this particular live updates. Let's take a short break. We'll be right back.
Usiyakubalie maumivu ya misuli kukatiza ratiba yako. Kaluma Pain Balm ni dawa ya kusugua iliyotengenezwa kutoka kwa miche maalum ili kutuliza maumivu ya misuli. Kaluma Pain Balm. Maumivu ya kizidi, pata ushauri wa daktari.
Mr. tena kuishi namna hii. Nataka tuachane.
Despite being visually impaired, he is a jack of all trades. It is our quest to find answers on how to take care of children with special needs and those with disability. You do not need to see musical notes to understand music, but rather to have your soul feel the vibe.
Actually, for us to make a wheelchair, we have to take measurements of the user.
After doing my assessment,
I get to know the parent. I get to know the heaviness she's carrying.
Disability comes at different stages of life.
How well do you know what's happening around you? Morning Cafe with heated political debates. Baraza la Siasa.
Hiyo kitu azungumzie, angalie hali ya maisha ya watu.
Informative health discussions. Business, farming. Tasty Wednesday, Fitness Thursday, and Feel Good Friday with amazing DJs, celebs,
waimbaji, kuna comedians, alafu kuna wajinga.
and music bands every Monday to Friday from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. The next set of millionaires are
Right, thank you for staying with us right here to Sunday Special. Now let's continue updating you, and let's cross over to County 001 where our very own Petronila Guren is. Petronila, very good evening to you. I know it is a chilly evening in Mombasa right now. How are things shaping up? How the last time we saw a whole voter apathy, how the whole civic education, has it been done to make sure that this particular time the voters will actually turn out? How many voters are we expecting?
Thank you. It's a good evening, Stanley Nyarigita. Thank you very much from our Nairobi studios. And as you have stated, the latest update from Mombasa County is just in a matter of couple of hours, which is about less than 10 hours, Mombasa electorates who are at least or slightly above 641,000 registered voters, that is according to the register by IEBC, will be heading to the ballot tomorrow to elect their new governor, and who will be able to succeed the current governor Hassan Ali Joe, who has served for 2 terms as per the requirements of the constitution. And the message from IEBC through its county returning officer Swalha Yusuf is that they are well prepared and that they are ready to carry out the election tomorrow. They have trained all the polling clerks, polling officials, and a number of them have been transferred from one polling station to the other, those who took part in the 9th general election, and some have even been transferred from one ward to the other. She says this is in a bid to ensure that they achieve a free, fair, and peaceful election. And voters have been urged. Before, there was slightly voter apathy, but so far voters have been guaranteed of their security. They have been guaranteed that they can come to the polling station and vote peacefully. Also, the security officers have confirmed that security in all the 6 constituencies in this county has been heightened, and they can also, that the residents can just come in and vote. And also, just to add on that, is that religious leaders, peace ambassador, non-governmental organizations have put a lot of emphasis in sensitizing the public on the need to come out and vote. And remember, we also have a holiday tomorrow here in Mombasa County, and as a result, voters have been encouraged to use that time to come, because majority had said that they'll be working, and as a result, they will not be coming to vote. But now we have a holiday, so we expect a good number of voters to come out and vote. But just to speak to one of the returning officers, we are at Nyali Constituency Tallying Center, where the process of transferring ballot or polling materials has just been completed. But I would like to speak to the returning officers just to assure us or tell us how has been the process. Kindly start with your name.
My name is John Oletaiswa. I am the returning officer for Nyali constituency. We had already finished dispatching the materials to the polling station, and it has been at least more easier than the general election, because this is only for one elective position. So we had just finished, and the POs, all the POs are now at the actual polling station.
And maybe just to a word for the voters. We know Nyali constituency has a good number of voters. You have about 204 polling stations. A word for the voters?
One thing that I can tell to the voters is for them to turn out in big numbers. Already they have been given an holiday tomorrow, say that they are free, all of them are free. Even those people who are working, we encourage them, all the voters to come out to vote tomorrow to choose their leaders, that is.
Thank you very much. And Stanley, just to add on, is that despite a number of non-governmental organizations and religious leaders saying that they are set for the voting day tomorrow, some who will be participating in this election as election observers, a section have expressed concern over the high number of political leaders from other parts of the country that have pitched tent here in Mombasa. And remember, we have about seven candidates who are vying for this gubernatorial seat, but we expect stiff competition between two candidates, that is Hassan Omar Hassan of UDA, which is under the Kenya Kwanza coalition, and Abdul Swamad Sharif Nasir of ODM, which is under Azimio. As a result, we've seen a good number of political leaders from various coalitions, that is Kenya Kwanza and Azimio, who have pitched tent here, and we understand that a number of them are continuing to come here. Those that we spoke to are saying they will be serving or participating in this election as agents in various polling stations, and others claim that they will be safeguarding their votes. And just to mention a number of leaders that are here from Kenya Kwanza, we have seen former Gatundu South Member of Parliament Moses Kuria. We have seen former Lunga Lunga MP Mwashitani Hatib. We have also seen Member of Parliament elect for Kilifi North Owen Baya. We have seen former Member of Parliament for Malindi, who is Aisha Jumwa. And from Azimio, we've seen the current Member of Parliament for Embakasi East, Babu Owino. We've also seen the ODM Chairman John Badi. We've also seen former women representative from Murang'a County, Sabina Chege, women rep for Nairobi, Esther Pasari. Those are just a number of leaders that we've seen, but we expect and we know a number of them are on the ground. And so we will just be following this up closely to bring it the latest update to our viewers. And remember that there is a lot of interest in Mombasa, being the second city after Nairobi. We have seen resources that are here, such as the Port of Mombasa, the blue economy, we have seen tourism, and those are just to mention a number of the resources that are here that we feel is calling for this political interest. And so, yes, tomorrow will be a great day for Mombasa residents, and we just be looking at who will clinch the seat, and we'll be following this up to ensure that we bring great or detailed information to our viewers in our subsequent bulletins tomorrow of the update of the election. So thank you very much, Stanley. Remember, we'll be bringing this to you again tomorrow. Thank you. Back to you.
Right, thank you very much for all that particular comprehensive report, Petronila Gurin in Mombasa, and have yourself a very good evening. Now, obviously, this particular elections, you're wondering, why are we having, this particular elections, the by-elections at this particular time? And just to quote the Article 64A, as we take a look at this particular by-elections and the particular gubernatorial, member of National Assembly, member of County Assembly, who is vying in this particular seats and the numbers of it, is to quote the Article 64A on how the law actually stipulates this. The General Elections, General Amendment Regulations 2017 sets that the Commission may, where a date has been appointed for holding an election, postpone the election in a constituency, county or ward for such a period as it may consider necessary, where there is a reason to believe that a serious breach of the peace is likely to occur if the election is held on that particular date. And remember, this particular elections were to be held last week, but then due to reports of that harassment of IEBC officials, this particular date was again postponed. The general elections are all postponed now to Monday, the 29th of August again. Now, to take you through these particular positions that were affected, we will start with the gubernatorial race, and even as let's start with Mombasa County, where the number of registered voters is 641,913. Again, remember the whole thing of voter apathy. Again, the general election of the 9th of August, are we going to see it being repeated this coming day? For tomorrow, the number of constituencies, it is 6. And just to take you through some of this 6, it is Mvita, Likoni, Nyali, Kisauni, Changamwe, and Jomvu with 30 electoral wards, which has number of polling stations 1,047. Let's take a look at who are the gubernatorial aspirants in this particular place. Hezron Awiti, remember Hezron Awiti was the former Nyali Member of Parliament who is vying under the Vibrant Democratic Party, VDP. And then we have Said Abdallah of Usawa kwa Wote, and then Shafi Makazi. Who else is vying on this particular position? We do have, all right, that is Kakamega County. All right, so for the gubernatorial aspirants, we do have Abdul Somad Sharif Nasir of the Orange Democratic Movement Party, who is the Mvita Member of Parliament, and then Hassan Omar, who is the UDA Member of Parliament, UDA from party, who was the Mombasa Senator from 2013 to 2017. Hassan Omar is one particular candidate who has been, remember back then he was quite a follower of Raila Odinga. Right now he pitched camp again to the UDA. Quite interesting bits of that. Let's cross over to Kakamega County now. Right, number of registered voters in Kakamega County, 743,736 voters. The number of constituencies, 12. Number of constituencies, then number of polling stations, we do have 1,497. Let's take a look at who is who in that particular race and who is actually vying. We do have Fernandez Baraza of ODM, then Cleophas Malala of ANC, and then Cyrus Jirongo of UDP. Remember, Cyrus Jirongo vying for the presidential race back in 2013. He is not a new face in matters, the whole elections and all. An interesting, quite a bold candidate, if you ask me. So Layman Sumba. Do also have a number of them again. Let's take a look at who else is in this particular race. Samuel Omukoko, the DMP party. Then Michael Osundo, who is vying under an independent party, candidate, and then Austin Opitzo, who is also vying as independent. Obviously, when you look at Kakamega and Mombasa, you'd realize that for Mombasa, you do have Abdul Somad of ODM and then Hassan Omar of UDA, who are two candidates who are obviously the top leading candidates. And then obviously for Kakamega, we do have Cleophas Malala and obviously Fernandez Baraza of the ODM party. Right, and obviously we do apologize for that. It is not VDP, as you can see there, it is ODM. Let's cross over to the parliamentary race that was postponed. We do start with right, Pokot South. The number of registered voters in that particular region is 48,070. And then we do have Kitui Rural. Right, Kitui Rural, number of registered voters, 55,000 registered voters. Remember also, these particular regions, we do obviously have correspondents there. And tomorrow, remember, the polling stations are open at 6 a.m. and closed by 5 p.m. So obviously, in a place like Rungai, taking a look at the number of registered voters are 77,162. By the end of the day, at 5 p.m., how many of this number of voters will actually have come to vote? Then from Rungai, we go to Kacheliba constituency. Kacheliba, number of registered voters, 42,632. Right, let's cross over now to another place. Still on the parliamentary race, Kwanjanga Ward. Right now, this is the members of County Assembly. Number of registered voters in this particular ward is 23,852. And remember also, tomorrow is slated a public holiday. So people even in Nyaki West Ward, is a public holiday, limited public holiday for this particular people. Number of registered voters, 19,970. Right. And just to also update you, Form 35s are for the members of Parliament, Forms 36 for members of the County Assembly, and Forms 37 for the governors. Right, definitely we'll be taking a look at those particular regions and how everything is going on since the moment this particular results will be rather, the voting process will start at 6 a.m. We'll be keeping tabs, and then at the end of when the polling stations will be closed at 5 p.m. and then when the tallying process begins, will be bumper to bumper in everything about that. Right, from matters polls, we cross over to something else. Grief has struck residents of Kajiado village in Marmet in Laikipia County after a man aged 27 years was stabbed to death allegedly by a friend. It was reported that John Kipto was stabbed several times with a kitchen knife by the suspect. The two were in the company of other people at a beer den when they picked a quarrel, and later the elderly man went for the knife and stabbed the young man several times. Residents claim the deceased bled profusely and as a result succumbed to the injuries.
Mimi naitwa Mary Sherono Kurui, na hiyo ni mtoto yangu ameuawa, na hiyo ni kitinda mimba, na ni pombe imejaa area hii, na hata chibu tumeambia yeye, hata mzee Aitora tunaambia na hapana sikia, na tumeletewa askari maiti, ni kama amekufa na ni askari, na si askari, hata wanakunywa pombe, hata nilikuta asubuhi wakikunywa pombe. Sasa mtoto yangu inakufa kama umbwa.
Kuja chama kingine anaenda kwa sarika. Kukuja unakuta sarika amekufa kwa tumerudi. Kwenda kuuliza Roja, "Umeua mzee?" Ndio hii kisu. Akasokota kirai kwa. Inaokoba tu hiyo na hiyo mzee ni adari sasa anaua mimi. Sikuwa na kirai kwa.
Ongea kidadi, ongea
Akasema ndio ni mimi. Ndio hii kisa, akatoa kisu kwa hapa akaonesha iko na tamu. Akaendelea kusokota kirai kwa. Tumagoba ende paka umari mzee kwa tumerudi nyuma.
Hali ya hii pombe iishe. Ndio hii pombe iishe. Wamama wamekataa na wamekataa siku ya leo. Hatutaki pombe tena katika hii kijiji. Hata sisi tutajikushukulia sheria mkononi akiwa tupa.
So, tourism in Maasai Mara is expected to receive a boost following the launch of the first tourism university in the country. According to the college principal, Maurice Nabala, the key mandate of the college is to carry out research and community service while prioritizing the community's empowerment on conservation. The move will additionally enable the community overcome challenges such as climate change crisis, unemployment, and human-wildlife conflicts.
The key mandate of the university is research, teaching, and community service. We are working in partnership with the newly established college, Wildlife and Tourism College of Maasai Mara University. We realize that they are offering certificate and diploma programs. Maasai Mara University gives an opportunity for students who graduate from this college to pursue degree programs at undergraduate level and also postgraduate level.
All these youth that can't find job, it's a looming crisis. We have to get job opportunity for the youth. That means you need to move beyond primary, secondary, basic education. You need to move into training that makes you relevant for a job. And the interesting thing in the Mara is we actually lacking a lot of types of jobs. So there is a mismatch between the education and the jobs. And the other looming crisis is climate change. I think we are already way beyond looking at mitigations. We need to get into adaptation.
Tonight, another top IEBC official, the Director of Voter Registration and Electoral Operations, Moses Ledama Sunkuli, has come to the defense of Commission Chairman Wafula Chebukati, saying the election process was above board. Sunkuli, in his affidavit opposing the Azimio presidential candidate Raila Odinga's petition, says all Form 34As were collated as announced by presiding officers at the polling station, were explaining why voters for the presidential election were higher than others. Apollo Kamau reports on a divided commission ahead of the Supreme Court battle next week.
So, is it a unanimous decision by the commission?
On a weekend, IEBC officials laid bare their differences and where their interest lay in the August 9 poll and what precipitated the bitter fallout. It's now clear that the commission will be heading to court divided. IEBC Chairman Wafula Chebukati, Commissioners Bolu Moya, Abdi Gulie, and Chief Executive Officer Hussein Marjani on one hand, against Vice Chair Juliana Cherera, Justus Nyang'aya, Irene Masit, and Francis Wanderi, setting the stage for a vicious legal contest that will see the election upheld or nullified. The latest affidavit by IEBC's Acting Director of Voter Registration and Electoral Operations, Moses Sunkuli, debunks Azimio presidential candidate Raila Odinga's claims that Chebukati manipulated Form 34As, saying the forms were collated as received from presiding officers. A different scenario is painted by the 4 dissenting commissioners, led by Vice Chair Juliana Cherera, who say Chebukati acted alone in the verification and tallying of results. Commissioner Justus Nyang'aya, in his affidavit, says a foreigner, Gudino Omor, and 3 IEBC staff deleted some presidential results and uploaded others to the server, saying 372 people had access to the server. Vice Chair Cherera, in her affidavit, accused Chebukati of secretly printing a second set of Form 34As, a matter she claims to have discovered with fellow Commissioner Francis Wanderi during the printing of ballot papers in Greece. Chebukati, in his affidavit, however, names Commissioners Masit and Wanderi for pushing for a rerun, with Cherera proposing the removal of 233,211 votes from President-elect William Ruto's votes, a position Chebukati terms as prearranged consensus between the 4 commissioners. Supporting Chebukati, Commissioner Abdi Gulie, listed as the 4th respondent in the petition, names Raphael Tuju and former Attorney General Amos Wako, piling pressure on the commission to manipulate results in favor of Odinga. Apol Kamau, TV47.
Thank you, Apollo Kamau. Now, it is a sigh of relief for the residents of Mulembe village in the Saboti constituency area of Trans Nzoia County. This follows the construction of a water supply project in the area. The water project supplies water through water pipes to residents' homesteads. The locals have been missing clean and safe drinking water for years. Our reporter Boniface Baraza visited the area and prepared the following report.
It is here in Mulembe village, Saboti constituency, Trans Nzoia County, where one is welcomed by the sight of water flowing on the stream. What is least known is that the water is purified by machines installed in the area before it is distributed through water pipes to homesteads. The purifying machine uses modern technology that is friendly to the environment.
This technology is very simple and cost-effective and environmentally friendly because it uses green energy.
Agri Chemonges, an environmental expert, says if the leadership that succeeded the first governor of Trans Nzoia, Patrick Haemba, will consider the use of this technology, then the issue of water shortage may be forgotten in the days to come.
Inaweza kutuchukua kama miaka 4 kila boma iwe na maji ya mfereji kama hii. Tukitumia hii teknolojia is going to serve 5,000 people, about 1,000 households.
Locals welcomed the project and said it has relieved them of the stress of traveling for long distances in search of the rare commodity.
Wametuletea maji kwa milango, tutaoga, nywele itakuwa mzuri. Ilikuwa imeisha kwa sababu ya kubeba maji. Unafikiria ni mama msee, kumbe ni ngali tu bado.
Maji tulikuwa tunatoa mbali. Mama kama mimi mkongwe hivi, natoka na mlima
mpaka nyumbani. Ukweli tulikuwa tunatumia maji chafu sana. Kwanza kama sisi watu wa huku chini, tumekuwa na shida sana ya magonjwa. Typhoid ilikuwa inatusumbua, tumbo zilikuwa zinatusumbua.
Tumekuwa na shida ya maji, tukihangaika mara kwa mara. Mvua haswa inaponyesha tunatumia maji chafu. Lakini tunashukuru.
More than 1,000 families have benefited from the water project.
The